Hey there, Viking. Gen GC here, Game Changer. So basically, we're going to do a bit of a review with your troops and things like that. But first of all, can I congratulate you on joining the team? It's really good having you. Quite like your banter. It's nice that you're actually only 15 miles up the A19 from here. But yeah, absolutely amazing to see you in the team, and it's been good crack. Having a chat with you. So first thing first, your alliance points 5468 is absolutely excellent. So really good. You've got basically 824. That tells us you're donating, which is absolutely excellent. And you've got a reasonable PvP score for your level as well, which is that's your 2054. So when you click on any player, you can kind of just check them out, as it were. So there's clues all the time, so you can see what the CC is. You can tell here that your attack and your defense are reasonable. Your 80 is fantastic. 33 will improve that. That's what we're here for. But obviously, you can see straight away that you're not a fob man. So I suspect there'll be a reason behind that, what we can kind of delve into. So let's have a little look at your troops. Okay, so first things to watch out for are, you can tell straight away, your level 1 fobs, and I kind of suspected that, to be fair, because you're not using them. If you have used them and it looks like you've used, what, 9, you'd probably find that they got crumpled or didn't do a great deal, or they were kind of a waste of metal, or you don't understand that how to kind of deploy them for half the money and then basically refund them for the same amount. If you get it all wrong, you end up deploying them for twice as much as you need, and then refunding them for fuck all. So you've got to get the that technique correct. It's all in the cooldown, and there's obviously videos in a chat to have a look at that. So level 1 fobs, work on that if you haven't already. They do need to be level 3. I kind of already thought you were there, but perhaps this video's all pictures are straight away out of date, because obviously it's you upgrading quite quickly. Do watch out how quickly you upgrade your bases and things like that. Really sort of manage that XP. It's a resource that you cannot go back. You can't unwind and update. If you click on the wrong thing, your XP all of a sudden shoots up, and then you're basically a bigger player, but not necessarily a bigger attacker, and you've got to watch out for that. Also, how you deploy your fobs. If you look there, you've got an infantry to the left, tank to the right. If you deployed that way, actually they could be his, but if you deployed that way, what would happen is basically the infantry could be attacked and the tank wouldn't defend it. All 3 fobs should touch. Your strongest one, which is usually infantry, is the middle one, but it does depend on which is the strongest fob. If all 3 touch, if you attack, say, the middle one, then the other 2 will attack you, and if you attack, say, the left-hand side one, just the middle one will attack as well. You know what I mean? So basically, if the fobs touch, they will defend each other. In addition, that's kind of how a good technique, also a good attacking technique if you want to take the fobs down. Just confirm there, yeah, level 1 fobs. Now, if you look at a fob there, you can see straight away that if, say, for example, your unit is level 7, then you will get a 2 of those. As you upgrade, you move to Abraham's, and sometimes people think, oh, if I upgrade, Abraham's not a strong unit, but you get a nice big health boost, and so automatically it will be a better fob. But whatever your fob has, then basically that mimics the kind of unit itself. So, for example, if you've got the infantry fobs there, and for example it's got red eye attached to it, then your fob will have red eye as well. So it's a direct mimic. Now, don't use much more of the PK or the S13. The S13 is quite good for dodging in and out of railguns, because you can kind of come in and out quick enough. So that does work. But ultimately, start to move away from PK and use Humvee. But when you're doing the sort of world map to get your commons, you might find a good fleet of PKs is quite useful, because they've got that continuous fire that I've been trying to show you. So as you move, they keep firing, where if you look at an S13, for example, you've got to lock on, it's got to be stationary for quite some time, and then it'll fire, where that continuous sort of moving past as you go, almost like a drive-by shooting, is a far better way of working. Now, your defenders, I would probably start to move that to all sort of tanks. Have a little think about the next time you're on the battlefield. What you'll tend to find is that you're never really going to kind of shit yourself if a PK or a S13 comes out of the war factory. Oh fuck, this guy's tooled up. It's not really going to happen, is it? Also, as well, look to upgrade your capacity. You tend to find a lot of people will start packing loads of metal and then they'll upgrade all the base stuff, where really you want to be kind of upgrading absolutely everything possible. And then if you've still got stacks of money, well, just fucking blow it. You know what I mean? Just hold the money. I mean, why have to spend it? Really only sort of upgrade things when absolutely necessary, unless the unit. Do be careful as well. I mean, when you upgrade, your Hinds, for example, that's 1500 XP per level. Well worth it. Get them up to at least 8, because when the 8 kicks in, that's when you get your armor, and that becomes a much better unit. And it's kind of like a flying tank. So when I'm trying to teach people about this, having the tank first and then the kind of light vehicles behind, the Cobra's the light vehicle, if you will. It's got a far more firepower, but the Hind's the flying tank. So well worth the XP, but do kind of manage that as well as you're upgrading. M270 is the other one you will absolutely need, for sort of like lower levels. 1500 XP per upgrade, so again, be mindful of that. So again, your defenders, cool, you've got the right sort of method. As soon as you get Hind, then obviously you'll probably change those to defenders. But again, notice 225k metal, you'll get an extra capacity, and you want to be upgrading your capacity. What I do like as well is the fact that you realise 16 seconds and 16 seconds. You get loads of people that put them all in the first slot, which would be a 32-second spawn time, and by then it's probably over. It's they don't get a chance to spawn, so you've got to be mindful of that. A fantastic defender is your mortarmen, so start to move towards those. They're quite tricky to pick up. They are very, very devastating towards your kind of heavy vehicles and light vehicles as well. They really are absolutely fantastic little defenders. Some people actually build a base where the walls are quite tight and the mortarmen don't actually get out, but it's like having another howitzer in there. They're absolutely devastating. So generally move your defense towards that. But again, you can make your defense even stronger by having that sort of upgraded capacity, but start to move more towards mortarmen. Again, when you're on the battlefield yourself, have you ever shit yourself when machine gunners come at you? Probably not. But I'll tell you, an absolute wicked bitch is that sniper. When you get your T4 set up, the absolute awful to upgrade, because it takes a huge amount of resource. But we're not going anywhere. What's the rush? Why not take that little bit of time? I mean, this Gen GC camp, this new one's probably what, 5 months old, and it's still like level 38, and that's only I've only just upgraded because I wanted the M270 and I had no choice. So I had to get like nearly 5 levels on. It's better to have a much more powerful, compact, smaller base. Yeah, okay, we might get blown off world map, but you're seeing level CC12 with level 10 FOBs still getting blown off map by someone, and the amount of money they've spent to get there. And the higher up this game you get, the less enjoyable it generally does get, unless you spend a fuckload of money. So being max CC7, CC8 is probably where I've had the most fun, but certainly been this Gen GC account, which is a little small, and you're finding level 60 getting wrecked in your base, and basically it's just quite exciting being able to take people down. Now, Abrahams, obviously, you need to start looking at. Now, you might find that a level 1 Abraham, you think it's a bigger tank, but the level 7 Rhino is probably stronger at this moment in time. If you're not sure, if you click on the Abraham, you'll see what its DPS is, which is damage per second. You'll also see what its health is. Until a unit gets about 6 or 7 or 8, as soon as the armour kicks in, you tend to find it's got a lot more health. And the armour, what that does is, say, for example, a unit's got, say, 10,000 health and 5,000 armor piercing health, if you will. Then if you get hit by armor piercing, you've got 5,000 that it will take off before you lose any of your health. And that's kind of how that armor works, you know what I mean? So it doesn't give you 15,000. What it does, it gives you 5,000 proof of one particular element, and before you start using your energy, if you will. But yeah, Rhino, you might think, oh, Abraham's better, but Rhino is probably better tank. But as you start upgrading, then start moving towards it. Because what will happen, that Abraham's got very little defence. It's got a lot of punch, but very little defence. So you'll tend to find it's getting wrecked quicker, which is then oil expenditure and things like that, and it stops you being able to play the game. So what you are doing at the moment, as I'm trying to sort of guide you, your attack there suggests that you're massively sledgehammering. You're trying to use a sledgehammer to crack a nut. Where I'm more of a scalpel kind of guy. I've never really been into tanks. I'll use one as a bullet stopper, but the way I'll do that is maybe move it left and right on the battlefield to try and draw maybe salvo fire or peacemakers later on and things like that. There's quite a few techniques of what we call baiting that you can use, but yeah, just try and remove your reliance on the tank, because ultimately it's lack of strategy, and it's all about just seeing if you can survive longer than his base does. There's no necessary finesse in there as well, and that's kind of where I come in. Obviously, you're quite low in your air as well. I mean, you've got level 2s. Obviously, get them upgraded as well, because they're also a great defensive system. So get them up to 10s, and you'll find as well that eventually you'll be on things like Spookies and Avengers and all sorts of other vehicles like that in the air, and they often share quite a few of the equipment. You'll find the same with Cobra. Eventually you'll move on to Guardians, which is a fantastic chopper, but ultimately it shares quite a few of the tech. So if you can get them earlier on for Cobra, where events are easier because you're much lower level, when you do get onto the bigger units, you've already got a great head start. I mean, when I'm doing all events, I try and get all the criticals, all the commons, and all the kind of extras that way. Even if I don't need them, I've got them in the bank for when I do. Alright. Obviously, I've tried to show you about the Thor skill. It won't be long before we promote you, mate. I think having that ability to get the Thor in yourself. Once we know that you can handle it correctly. Once you're not going to go ahead and start raging war on Dominators or something silly like that and get us all fucking ruined. That's what's cool. Now, in the sort of Humvees, you can see there you've got a lot of commons. I'll tell you what, upgrading Humvee takes a huge amount of commons, but once you get there to level 10, that red eye kicks in. Now, the red eye is an absolutely fantastic anti-air system. So it shoots choppers for fun. It wrecks Hinds. It can take some of the bigger planes as well. It's fantastic, and you can't really do the events without it. You could actually technically use tanks and then just a platoon of Humvees, but you'll notice when I'm playing, often I'm just using Humvees. But you will need a lot of light vehicle commons, and you'll need to be able to do the spec ops and things like that to get the criticals and the other events, etc. Even every upgrade is an upgrade. Every little crit or common that you earn takes you closer towards your target. So get those Humvees done, and obviously there's videos in the Discord server that we've got that will tell you how to get commons, because you'll need a lot of commons to get your Humvees up there. But trust me, it'll be absolutely well worth doing it. And if you get them maxed at very low level player, then you're going to be an absolute powerhouse until you kind of need the next models, really. And I do like the fact that you're looking at possibly sort of diverging your attack here. So again, we'll help you with that going forward. But that should give you something to work on, and I'll give you a base assessment shortly. Cheers, bro.